Today is the day. Finally, the review of Mr. Dose, my 1991 Toyota MR2 Turbo that I have turned from a $2,600 pile of MR2 parts into what it is today, a barely reliable 28-year-old project car. Anyway, up above for all you new folk is a playlist to almost 2 years worth of videos of me killing myself working on this car to make it what it is now. Before I start my review, I gotta say, to be able to sit here and make this video for you guys today is really special to me. I never thought I'd be at this point with this project car to be able to do this, because this car has not been easy to restore. It has fought me every way that it possibly could, and it's still not 100% even today reviewing this. So fingers crossed it'll make it through the review. Now, starting with the interior, 1991, this did have some tech features. It does have cruise control, power windows, power door locks, and power mirrors, as well as it has T-tops, which they should totally bring back. I love T-tops. I'm not gonna take them off though, however, because it is triple-digit heat outside and I do not want to catch fire. Like many of the other surviving Zenki SW20s out there, Mr. Dose is crimson red, which I believe is also known as Super Red 3. Unfortunately, he's not lime green, because if he was, he would look like a Karopi frog because of his eyes. I love pop-up headlights. These headlights are so popular, a guy in California made a rap about them. That's how you know they're cool. And I like the fact that you can turn the headlights off, but still keep them up if you want, because there's an extra notch on the light stock. I believe this is how they flexed in 1991. I also did the front marker light delete, which kind of gives the car more of a clean feel to the lines. Back in 1991, this car originally had 14-inch 5-spoke wheels, which may have been easy to find performance tires for back then, but in 2019 is damn near impossible. So I went with a 17x8 front, 17x9 rear, plus 40 offset squared Enkei TS5, which kind of has a vibe of the classic 5 Zygon FN01 RC, which is what I was going for. They're wrapped in Falcon 615K plus tires, 215s in the front, 235s in the rear, which is a slight stretch. However, I do not have coilovers. This is a stock strut suspension with a lowering spring. So until I do coilovers, I have to run this tire size. It is as wide as I can go without hitting the spring perch. I often get asked why I did not go with the Kuki taillights on this car. And for those of you who don't know, Kuki is Japanese basically for a mid-cycle refresh of a model of a car. So Zenki is pre-refresh, Kuki is post-refresh. And these are the pre-refresh taillights that came on this car. Now, these are the JDM taillights, and they have amber corner caps, whereas USDM, they did have a red corner cap. I kept it Zenki because I wanted to be different. I just think the car's a 91, it should look like a 91. Although I do have the 93 and up front lip, but that's besides the point. It just looks good, it's a front lip. It's not lights. Lights are a big deal. Lips aren't. No one will notice. Leave me alone. Other than that, I kept the interior as clean, as close to stock as possible. It does have the cloth seats, which are this really comfortable blue texture, very 90s feeling, and the seats are super comfy in here. There's quite a bit of room in here for as tiny as this car is. If I put the seat all the way back, I can even push in the clutch all the way. So I could totally do a road trip in this car. I did add a Pioneer Apple CarPlay Android Auto head unit that has USB compatibility, so you can use navigation in here, which is kind of nice, modern touch to the car. The speakers in here are Rockford Fosgate, and it does not have the factory subwoofer, which came in this car. I still have to get a subwoofer for this thing if I want it to be as close to original as possible. Now, this did start out as a non-turbo MR2 that was converted to a turbo car. I'll get to that more in a minute when we talk about the nerdy tech specs under the rear engine cover. I do have the turbo engine lid on here, as well as a lot of stuff in the interior that I have converted to be correct to a turbo model MR2. The turbo model MR2s had what is called the turbo cubby, which is this little storage console in the center here that kind of reminds me of something you find on more modern MX-5 Miatas. And it has a top storage lid that you could put a couple cassette tapes in, and this bottom storage compartment that you could actually fit one penguin standing upright in there. It would be a mini penguin, but it'll house a penguin. That is a trunk. Notice it is in the rear of the car. And I still have the old school toolkit that came with it. And this right here is a front trunk. 2 trunks. You know it's the 90s because it has an ashtray and a cigarette lighter, which I removed, and I just put 2 little USB outlets there. I do want to hardwire a USB plug instead of having that little plug-in thing. It just looks cheesy. But yeah, other than that, I mean, it's pretty simple in here. This car has 76,000 original miles on it, so I got lucky, and the interior is super clean. It took a little bit of detailing to get it to this point, but yeah, it is time. That sound you hear is a Gen 2 JDM 3S GTE with a Burke Technologies turbo back exhaust. And yes, I have an HKS SSQB blow-off valve. I'm slightly ricer. Slightly. Woo! Smell that fuel. Oof. I'm gonna say this right now, I've never taken this car down a back road aggressively before. This right here in this video is my first time, so this is gonna be interesting. I love the gearing on roads like this. This is why I'm glad I have the non-turbo transmission. This thing is quick on a back road. This is really rough. Oh no, this road's really rough. Oh, I gotta slow down to like 10 miles an hour. Oh man. Oh, the suspension's no bueno for rough stuff. It is just a KYB upgraded OE style strut with, I thought it was TRD. It might not be a TRD lowering spring. It doesn't say on there, and they were on it when I bought the car. And it does have upgraded front and rear anti-sway bars that are adjustable. Hello. Welcome to Garage Science with Sarah. This is exciting. This is my own car in here for once, and I'm not working on it, I'm reviewing it. Anyway, this car originally started out as a non-turbo MR2 that the previous owner swapped in a Japanese spec Gen 2 3S GTE as a cast iron block aluminum head 2-liter turbo 4-cylinder with an 86mm bore and stroke, kind of similar to what you see on the new Toyota 86 and Subaru BRZ, bore and stroke wise. It's kind of cool. Nostalgia. Now, the US spec 3S GT that came in the MR2 turbo produced 200 horse, 200 pound-feet of torque. However, the Japanese spec engine, because it utilizes a ceramic turbine twin-entry CT26 turbo and does not have an EGR system, produces 222 horsepower at 6,000 RPM and 224 pound-feet of torque at 3,200 RPM. However, on top of that, I upgraded the turbo on here to a CT20B from a Gen 3 3S GTE. So that has a slightly improved turbine housing and a larger compressor housing, and those engines produce 245 horsepower. Now, I have no idea how much power this thing puts out because it has other mods as well, and it's never been on a dyno before. I'm not going to go over everything that has been replaced in the engine bay because to my OG subscribers, you guys know I have hundreds of hours of labor in this garage working on this thing, replacing damn near every gasket on this entire engine. But aside from that, I do have an upgraded side mount intercooler with an intercooler fan to help keep the temps down, this upgraded stainless X-brace, stainless intercooler piping, the HKS SSQB blow-off valve, and an OG original epoxy intake, which is pretty cool because it actually works with the AFM on here since this car does not utilize a mass airflow sensor. Oh my God, this gearing is perfect for this road. You don't really notice a car like this having no limited slip diff in the rear. I've never driven an MR2 with one, but it doesn't bother me that it doesn't have one. Ooh, man, speed comes on like unsuspectingly in this car. You don't even really need to wind it out to get the power either. You can just leave it in whatever gear and go. I see why this car has such a cult following. Time for your second lesson of the day. The transmission that is in this car behind me is the S54, which is a non-turbo MR2 gearbox. It is lighter, it utilizes an unequal length axle, although it's not as beefy, and it does not have a limited slip differential, but it has closer gear ratios, which is key if you're keeping the horsepower below 300 wheel horse and you plan on using it for track driving. The MR2 turbos came with what is called the E153 transmission that did have the option for a limited slip differential. It had taller gears and it was just an overall stronger gearbox. But I'm rocking this S54 until it blows up. In the name of science, I should now give Mr. Dose the beans. Sport mode is always engaged in this car. There is none. And no launch control either. I'm not gonna get on it too hard. I don't wanna launch it just because I don't have all the kinks sorted on this car. So, a light launch. Ready? Ooh, all right. Okay. Turbo brakes. The tires are going to help a lot, but oh, I really don't want to do this. Ready? I'm slowing down just a tiny bit. Set. Whoa! Wow! Excellent braking. I did not expect the brakes to do that. They actually, I mean, I feel like that was more tire than anything, but dude, it got down to 0 quick. No drama, obviously, because there's no ABS, but in case someone wants to know what the miles per gallon is on this car, I have no idea. I've never tried to figure out what it averages for fuel efficiency. I know it's not good. I will tell you that much. I'm guessing it's probably in the high teens, low 20s. Ish. I don't know. I maybe I'll find out sometime what it actually averages. I just know that it's not good. I love this car when it does work right. My Mr. Dose, my special boy. I'm a car mom. This is my baby. Whoa, all right. So if you guys have never seen one of my car reviews before, I do what's called the bean score. There's a rating of 1 to 5 beans based on the feeling you get in your gut when you go to the beans. That was so fast. I feel like I should do auctions. Anyway, I'm not gonna be biased against this car because it is mine. I will be fair. And Mr. Dose is going to get a rating of 1.5 beans. He's not as quick as Forrest or Gump, which I gave 2 bean rating to, but this is at stock boost levels. And from here forward, we now have a baseline established, and I can start turning up the boost and adding power to this car. And we shall see. Maybe a year from now, he can hit 3 beans. That's a good goal. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this review, and thank you so much for watching. I will see you soon with another. Bye.